You're watching UnrealEntGaming. This is Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. You want to see me turn Super Saiyan? Or should I take it to the next level? I'm also the narrator, too. Next time on Dragon Ball Z, make sure and smash subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
The ultimate battle between Yamoshi and Cumber is now just about to begin, as Cumber had now invaded Planet Plant with other infected Saiyans. As seen on the previous video, Cumber had now created his own army to not only combat the Saiyan King, but also seeking to find something more within Yamoshi as the ultimate battle that's going to determine the fate of not only the Saiyans, but the individualistic warriors themselves. Cumber and Yamoshi is just about to begin. As once more before we begin, if you are new to this channel and have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related, then be sure to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to never miss a single upload. And if you guys love and enjoy Dragon Ball and cannot wait to see more, then be sure to go on ahead and slap a big fat like down below by giving this video a big thumbs up, along with checking out the official Dragon Ball fan mangas playlist located down in the description box below, to where there you will be able to find all the latest and best Dragon Ball fan mangas created by the community for the community. So be sure to take a minute to go on ahead and check that playlist out located down below. As we kick off the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Yamoshi manga chapter number 5 special, with Yamoshi having to stare down against Cumber after Cumber had decided to finally invade Planet Plant. We finally get the confrontation between Yamoshi and Cumber, as Cumber goes along to tell Yamoshi, "You may be able to entertain me, but something tells me that you're not at your maximum power." So Cumber knows that Yamoshi is in fact hiding something from him, as Cumber then goes along to tell Yamoshi it won't be long. As we go back to the other side of the battlefield, we get to see how the other Saiyans begin to talk amongst each other, as one of them goes on to comment, "But its power goes beyond the simple Ozaru." As the other responds, "It's a risk. This form uses a lot of energy." So ironically enough, these two are talking about a transformation or power that far even goes beyond that of the Ozaru. So right now on Planet Plant, the only thing that the Saiyans are capable of in learning is only the transformation of that of the Ozaru and nothing more beyond that. So since they are discussing, ironically enough, a power that even goes far beyond an Ozaru, one can only put into question if they're referencing Super Saiyan or something beyond that that far transcends even that of a Super Saiyan. As we then get to see Yamoshi get into fighting position, Cumber then goes on to state, "What is that? A dance step?" As Yamoshi responds, "No, I focus my energy." As Yamoshi dashes on in, I love the level of comfortability that Yamoshi is in, because he's confident in the fact that he knows what he has to do, but Cumber, eerily enough, is displaying some sort of a presence that is throwing Yamoshi off his game. As soon as Yamoshi dashes on in, we finally get to see how we have Yamoshi versus Cumber for the first time. And as Yamoshi gets behind Cumber, Cumber wasn't able to register as to what had happened until Yamoshi delivers a thunderous shot, to in which Cumber went along ahead to quickly block off, as Cumber then goes on to say to himself, he's fast, but he's still restraining himself. So there is something about Yamoshi that's holding him back in this battle against Cumber. Now Cumber understands this, but he doesn't seem to understand as to why. Why exactly is Yamoshi holding back, especially in a situation like this where he's required to go all out unless he wants his people to pay the ultimate price? But it is then that Cumber quickly turns things around as he goes on ahead to strike Yamoshi, but interestingly enough, we get to see how Yamoshi continuously pushes Cumber, and this is most interesting because Cumber understands that Yamoshi is holding back, and to some extent so is Cumber, because Cumber wants to see what Yamoshi is fully capable of, because remember, this all started because Yamoshi went along to tell the king that Cumber seems to be infected and that he seems to be infecting others. So as soon as Yamoshi goes on ahead to strike Cumber, Cumber then goes on to respond, "Come on," as he then grabs onto Yamoshi's arm and swings him over his head, slamming his body directly down onto the ground. very similar to what Broly did against Goku, except by grabbing Yamoshi by the leg as did Broly with Goku, Cumber instead grabbed onto Yamoshi's arm and slammed his body directly down onto the ground. But it doesn't end there, because very similar to Broly, Cumber does the exact same thing. He grabs onto Yamoshi's arm and he starts swinging Yamoshi's body all across the ground, left and right, up and down. He's slamming Yamoshi repeatedly into the dirt, and with Yamoshi having to then cough up blood, we then get to observe how Cumber lifts Yamoshi's body and then proceeds to toss him out in the distance. Yamoshi appears to be in critical pain, but he was able to brace himself as he's beginning to huff and puff. He looks on over at Cumber, and with Yamoshi having to charge up a massive energy blast from his mouth, he then proceeds to shoot it out as Cumber goes on to tell Yamoshi, "Here's another one of my powers." As of course, very similar to Super Dragon Ball Heroes, the exact same Dark Claw that we saw in Super Dragon Ball Heroes appears, and with Yamoshi having to fire off this massive attack, what Cumber ends up doing is using this massive claw as a means of retaliation, and with a massive explosion having to occur in the distance, the Time Patrollers then go on to comment, "They don't laugh at those Saiyans. Could they be good partners for the Galactic Patrol?" As the Namekian replies, "Maybe," and as we get to see how some of the other Saiyans are fighting, one of them goes on to cry out, "Witness the defeat of the Saiyans carrying the blood of the defeated." So, the infected Saiyans are fighting the other Saiyan warriors over out in the distance while Cumber is fighting Yamoshi, as some of the individuals, including Shallot, goes on to states, "He lost his mind, your brother." As Shallot replies, "Giblet, what happened to you?" As of course, one of the Saiyans goes on to cry out, "Wild Cannon!" And with everybody fighting, what I really enjoy here is seeing how there are multiple battles taking place, all while Cumber and Yamoshi are battling it out in the distance, with Kabura having to state, "I blew it up so easily, is that a joke?" As another Saiyan replies, "Shallot has also disappeared." So people are starting to disappear, people are starting to fight, but nobody seems to be keeping track as to what the heck is going on, as one of the Time Patrollers goes on to state, "I'm informed that a time breach has opened. Your friend has been absorbed," meaning Shallot. As one of the other soldiers goes on to reply, "Our soldiers are holding their ground, but we will not be able to reverse the battle. We have to find the solution." As one of the other remaining Saiyans goes on to cry out, "Quinokora, look at the evil Saiyans!" And with everyone then having to redirect their attention up in the sky, they then observe how all of the evil Saiyans have not only gathered together in creating massive energy balls in space, as the king goes on to cry out an air raid, with the Time Patrollers then commenting, "Helix, I think we should summon the dragon," because they know that at this current point in time right now, if these energy blasts were to hit the ground, that could really spell trouble and disaster for everybody on the battlefield. To which I will say, I love the level of detail in seeing all of these evil Saiyans gathered together as they're holding up these gigantic energy balls in the sky. There is no telling as to what kind of power lies behind these attacks. As of course we go back to Yamoshi and Cumber, Yamoshi then goes on to ask, "But what are you searching?" At the end, with Yamoshi raising his energy level, Cumber then goes on to tell him to force you to fight seriously. As Cumber also begins to power up, Yamoshi then replies, "Really? So take that." And with Yamoshi charging on in, the blast then is beginning to get really intense, because as Yamoshi charges on in, he punches Cumber directly in the face, sending Cumber flying out in the distance, but Cumber realizes that Natsu is behind him, and eerily enough, as Yamoshi turns his head and spots Natsu on the ground, what he ends up doing is throwing this little energy ball at her, and as Natsu looks up, she goes on to comment, "Oh no!" As the energy that Cumber had thrown then begins to consume her, she then goes on to cry out, "My body hurts!" As weirdly enough, instead of hitting Natsu, the energy blast then consumes Sai, and with Yamoshi seeing this, he quickly takes action in flying right by Cumber and landing down onto the ground and having to ask, "Are you okay?" And with Sai having to stand there with this energy having to consume her, she then slowly turns around as she is now possessed, with Yamoshi having to comment, "No, it's impossible. Not you. Why are you doing this, Kamba? Why?" And with Sai having to raise her power up even more, Cumber then goes on to comment, "Keep getting angry, Yamoshi," because that's what Cumber wants. Cumber wants Yamoshi at his max because he wants to see what Yamoshi is capable of. And with Sai then having to charge up an attack, right before Sai is able to fire off her attack, Natsu quickly steps in and kicking Sai directly down onto the ground. As she then approaches Sai and Yamoshi, she goes on to tell him, "Take care of Kamba, I'll take care of your wife." And with Yamoshi asking Natsu, "Thank you." At least now Yamoshi's wife has a chance to have her consciousness be restored, and with the girls then having to fight in the distance, I really love how Cumber is using his evil influence to basically capture the ones that Yamoshi loves and converting them into evil Saiyans. With Cumber then having to rise up, he then goes on to question Yamoshi and asking, "Isn't that enough for you?" With Yamoshi responding, "What are you talking about?" As Cumber continues, "What do I have to do to get you to fight me seriously? I know you're holding back." As Cumber then proceeds to create another claw, he then cries out, "Disaster Claw," as it directly ends up hitting Yamoshi. Yamoshi gets pushed back while defending himself as he goes on to ask, "Why do you keep pushing me so hard? What's the point?" As Cumber responds, "I want to test the limits of my abilities against a real challenger, even if it means destroying this planet and its people." So Cumber doesn't care. All he wants to do is gauge himself. He wants to test his own abilities by any means necessary. And this triggers Yamoshi because Yamoshi then goes on to comment, "What? So you're just a monster now? Where is the Kamba I knew? The proud and valiant warrior who has always protected his people despite his disease?" As Cumber slowly laughs, he then goes on to tell him he disappeared in his madness. And with Yamoshi charging on in and crying out, "Shut up!" he then goes on ahead to punch Kamba directly in the face as he quickly teleports behind him and then having to punch Cumber down onto the ground. The fight then begins to get very serious as Yamoshi is turning the tides against Cumber. And with Cumber on the ground with Yamoshi standing over him, Yamoshi's words towards Cumber are, "Your actions are unpardonable," as the manga chapter special then comes to a close. Now, Cumber is only fighting Yamoshi because Cumber wants to further gauge his own abilities. He wants to see if a real challenger is able to handle the true powers of what Cumber is capable of, because that's all Cumber wants. And if it means destroying the entire planet that they're on right now, then by any means he's going to do what it takes to get what he wants. And that's very interesting to me because Cumber is possessing other Saiyans. He's going about by trying to really influence Yamoshi in a negative way to get a response, and right now it would appear that he is doing so in trying to get a reaction from Yamoshi. But the question is, where do we go from here? So I love Cumber. I've always enjoyed Cumber in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, and now that Yamoshi is slowly starting to take this fight serious, because remember, this is his friend, and if you guys have missed out on the previous manga chapter videos, to which you guys can find down below, Yamoshi never wanted to fight Cumber like this. He never wanted to go against his own friend like this, but in the end, I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below about this entire ordeal. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Once more, if you are new to this channel, then don't forget to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to never miss a single upload. Also, guys, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up by smashing that like button down below. Tune back in for the next manga chapter special, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down in the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace! And a quick little reminder before you guys go, if you guys are unaware, I do have a second gaming channel located down in the description box below, so be sure to head on over to Unreal Royale and hit that subscribe button along with turning on all notifications, as to there, you guys will find all different kinds of gaming content that you will not get to find on UnrealEntGaming, titles and video games such as Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, Gears of War, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, Dragon Ball Z Legends, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, Minecraft, Blair Witch, and many other retro games on that channel. So if you guys are into gaming, then make sure you guys subscribe over on Unreal Royale. I want to thank you all so much for your time, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead! Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck, Zarbon? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Frieza.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!
But once you get video, lots of likes, or Bill will turn you into chocolate! Vados, get over here! Tell these mortals that I'm the biggest UnrealEntGaming fan. This is my moment. I'm a part of his notification squad. Universe 7 can have all the fun. I just want the food.
And don't forget to leave a comment on this video. Show some love for the best community on YouTube.
Kakarot!